Hi, welcome back to the channel. Now in the previous video I said I was going to address certain problems I've got with my bike. I've already done the chain down here, sorted that out. Next thing I'm going to tackle is a valve problem. So I already know what the valve problem is. I've got to replace the valves. I'm going to fit Hitchcock valves in the engine, which are top quality, because the thing is with the bike, I love the bike, and yes, it does have its problems, but I'm going to, any problem I can, I'm going to fix and replace with quality parts, because basically that is the problem with the bike. It's made with, I wouldn't say substandard parts, but not the best quality parts. No, it's not done many kilometres. It's 6,000 kilometres now, and it's got a valve problem, and it's not just unique to my bike. I've looked on the forums, it's a problem with a lot of the bikes on the exhaust valve. Thing is a lot of people say, well, I've had no problem with my bike, I've got 30,000 kilometres on it now and it's still running okay, because everybody believes that the engine should be rattling and noisy on these, and it's just normal. My bike, the top of the valve stem's worn away. Yeah, I can adjust the tappets up and I would get 30,000 kilometres out of it. As it is, you just keep adjusting the tappets, but it doesn't mean it's right. But how people wish to ride their bikes, and what they think is okay, it's like I said before, this is my bike, I do as I wish with it. I want to keep the bike, so anything I think is worn, or I could use the word substandard, I'm going to replace on it. Right, I'll stop the video now because I'm going to strip the bike down. Once I've got all the tank and seats, I'm going to remove the cylinder head. Once I've got the cylinder head off, I'll start filming again. This is not how to do it film, it's just me filming what I'm doing on the bike. So I hope you're going to enjoy it anyway. Right, I'll switch the video off and I better get stuck in and get it stripped down then. Right, back on the job again. Managed to get the bike stripped. Got the cylinder head off on the bench, I'm going to show you in a second. So I'll just turn the camera around so you can see the bike. Yeah, there you go. Obviously cylinder head's off, stripped down, barrel top's cleaned up. It's always advisable while you get to this stage. This is the cam chain guides. It's just worth checking these for any damage or wear. And when you remove the cylinder head, you must keep the cam chain tight, because if you don't, and it can drop off the gear at the bottom, it can be a right pain to get it back on. It's doable quite easy in this stage, but when you've got the head on, it can drop in there and you've a job to get it back on the crank gear. So always keep it tight. I use a bungee cord, so it just gives it a bit of tension on it, keeps it tight. Okay, right, let's have a look round at what we got here. Right, this is a cylinder head. Just you can see it underneath. I'm not taking the valves out yet because I wanted to show you what the problem was. This is the inlet valve. If you look at the surface of the inlet valve, it's perfect. That is what it should be like. This, I can get a good angle on it, this is the exhaust valve. Now I hope this video picks it up. It's like a dish. See how it's dished down? Now what happens is, I think, when a lot of people are saying they've adjusted the tappets and it's still rattling its head off, the reason being, when your rocker arm is sitting on here, you put your feeler gauge, slides in on here and picks up the outer surface of this. So you set your exhaust, let me think, 0.23. You're actually setting the gap between this as it slides in like that. Yet there's a gap under here now, look. So when you think you've got it set at 0.23, you actually haven't. Your feeler gauge can't dip into this dip to get the right thing. See, like this one, as your feeler gauge goes in, it's on a perfectly flat surface. So you're going to get a right measurement on here and a false measurement on here. Now the bike's only done 6,000 kilometres. You know, I've looked on the forums and people say anything from over revving, overheating the oil, but it's only done 6,000 kilometres. I don't take the bike above 5,000. I'm pretty strict on it. I don't need to. It's pointless on these. You know, it's long stroke motor. You don't gain nothing. So that's my limit on my revs. That's going through the gears. I don't go more than 5, and also cruising. You know, when you get to 5, that's my cruising speed, and that's what I'll stick at. So it's not been over revved. Bulgaria, the oil temperature could be high, but it's run on semi-synthetic, correct grade and everything, which I'm going to change after this actually, but I'll do another video on that. So I don't know, can I put it down to poor materials? Maybe, but if it was poor materials, inlet would be the same. Inlet's fine. Now, I've looked on the forums and there's quite a lot with this problem. Some of the guys who's mechanics, you know, have stripped it down and had a good look at it. That's what they're finding. So I think it's due to how the tappets are set on these. 0.23 is a hell of a gap. Now I know it's on the exhaust side, which is going to get the hottest, but turn around so you can see me. It's going to get the hottest, but even so, you can look at a lot of bikes who's got adjustable tappets. I don't think I've come across any that's as big as this. It's like a DR650. Their maximum setting is 0.20. Now the 350 Hunter Royal Enfield is 0.18. So I don't know why they have this that big, but I'll set it to what I think, which when I check it, I think it's going to be about under 0.20, maybe 0.19. I'll see what I think when I've done it. Now, what I've done, I bought, turn this around again, genuine Royal Enfield exhaust valve. Well, you can see this, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the inlet. In actual fact, if I show you the top of the valve, look, it's perfectly flat. That's how it should be. I bought this and I'm thinking, well, for 6,000 kilometres, I don't want to be replacing it yet again. Now, it's like I said when I started the video, people can say, well, I've got 30,000 kilometres on my bike, I've had no trouble, blah, 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 blah. But I can adjust this. So my gaps where I think it should be, and it'll continue to rattle, I will get, I dare say, 30,000 kilometres the same. But it's only when you take it to pieces, you actually find, there is a problem here. Irrelevant what other people say. You know, I don't like to run bikes like this. It's going to be fixed and that's it. Now, when I saw this, I don't know if you can pick it up, where my finger is here, you can see where the head's been welded on. You know, it's reasonable enough, I suppose, but the quality of it isn't fantastic. So what I've done, I've got Hitchcock valves here. That was the invoice. Move that out of the way. I bought inlet and exhaust. Let's get the right one out. This is my new Hitchcock valve. Now, I don't know, it's because it's so shiny, it's quite difficult to to pick it up the difference. I can mould them in my hands. You know, you can see, I mean, there's no comparison, you know, it's just nothing like. The quality of these are fantastic. It's polished around this area, smooth, which is quite important to the gas flow and what have you. But also, the original valves, there's been cases of the heads snap off. They snap off here, because where the weld is, then you've got the heat treat, and it's hasn't worked out well, shall we just leave it at that, eh? And this drops into the engine on top of the pistons, smashes all the head up, damages the piston, the bore, horrendous. Well, I don't want to do that. You know, I am aiming on keeping this bike, so like I said, I'm going to replace it with better parts as I can to make the bike better. Now, this quality is just beautiful, absolutely. So that's what it's going to have in it. That's the exhaust. That's exhaust. There's the inlet valve. So it's going to be a peace of mind to me, really. It's not something I have to worry about. So I'm going to fit them. Now, obviously, I'm going to take these out, clean the head up. I'm going to lap the new valves in. When lapped in, as long as the seats are good, that is, we should be good to go. Now, one of the other things I've done, I'm going to put this down. Right, one of the other things I did, I've already fitted it. This is a tech cam. Now, this now has done 4,000 kilometres. Beautiful, there's no marks on it. And if you want to spend any money on anything, like people are putting a filter in, a different exhaust on, they're not a waste of money, but this is what you want. Tech cam, you would not believe, it's just like a totally different bike. It pulls one tooth bigger on the front sprocket. The only thing is, my bike is a Euro 5. And what you do need on Euro 5, the Euro 4, you can put a booster plug on it to richen it up. You can also download into the ECU a program. This you can't, because on the Euro 4, the ECU is under the seat. It's somewhere here. On the Euro 5, I don't think you can really see it. This is the throttle body in here, and the ECU is bolted on the side of it. And it's like tamper-proof. But what you can get, they've developed it, this is called Fuel X Lite. They do two different versions of this. It's just plug and play, you just plug this one in. There's one with a switch that goes on handlebars that you can adjust the settings 1 to 10, I believe, but I don't see the point. This one suited my riding. It adjusts as you go along. Now, sometimes I can be down at sea level and it will adjust and run accordingly, but when I'm in the mountains, you can be 2,000, 3,000 metres up. And the air's thin, this adjusts itself. So I don't understand why you want to play about with buttons on the handlebars. Yeah, it's each to her own, but this, and with this, it runs beautiful. There's no flat spots, no stalling, sweet as a nut. Really happy with it, really happy with it. In mine, the air filter, I've kept to standard. You can get more flow with the aftermarket ones, but in the summer here in Bulgaria, a lot of the time you're up in the mountains, it's on tracks. And if I'm camping away for 3 or 4 days, you can go down the tracks and you look in your mirror, you can't see behind it for dust. So obviously to get more flow, the filter itself has got to be a bigger gauze in it, if you want to call it that. I know it's oiled up and it does work as long as you keep it clean. This, my thoughts are, it gets good flow, and if I want, I can just take it out. I could tap it out, I can knock it out. It's not perfect, but it's better than an oiled up one that's crapped up to hell and I'm not able to clean it without carrying all the relevant stuff with me. So this is why I leave this. the paper filter is finer, so it does stop any more dust, small particles getting inside the airbox, which obviously then gets inside your engine. Right, now I've just shown you the tech cam. This was the standard cam. Now, this is what, right, this is the standard cam. Now, this is what makes me believe that the quality of the stuff they use isn't fantastic. This cam has only done 2,000 kilometres, and already on here, there, you can see it's wearing. Now this should be really hard. It's 2,000 kilometres, it's quite marked up really. Also, the journals where it sits here, I don't know whether the camera's going to really pick it up or not. Let's see if I turn it around. There, it's okay, but I mean, look at that. And look at the tech cam, where my finger is, that's as smooth as it comes still. The bearing face on the outside and the bearing face on this, the score marks on the outside of this, there's lines in here, lines in here. So I just don't think, yeah, you can look on that lobe on here, it's definitely marked up. Like there's nearly a ridge there. Yeah, there's a ridge on this. I don't think it's hardened properly, but I don't think the quality of the materials, the quality of the materials they're using, I don't think it's A1. It's all right, it's good enough, I suppose. But the tech cam gives me quite a bit more horsepower as such, enough for the bike, makes it more pleasant to ride. I feel happier with this in. It doesn't have the spring decompressor, which is just here, this little thing here that flips out that. Gosh, I'm useless at this, aren't I? That there, which is another problem. The springs break on these and this flips about like mad. Engine's rattling its head off. Plus then the broken spring has got to find its way in the bottom of the engine. Try not to cause any damage. The tech cam doesn't have that, but I've never had no trouble. It's got its original battery on it still. First press of the button, boom, away she goes. So I'm happy with it. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'll remove the valves. Like I said, this isn't a how to do video. This is just me doing the job. I'm going to remove the valves, get all the head washed out. I'm going to grind the new valves in, the Hitchcock valves, put it all back together. Then when I've done that, I'm going to actually build it back up. When I've got it built back up, it's in the sort of built stage, I'll switch the camera back on and you can have a quick look like. But the next thing really to look at is when it's running. And we all know what noise and rattly, which people seem to think is okay, the engines make. It'd be quite interesting to see if this is a lot quieter. Now, myself, I believe it's going to be. I really do. It should be a lot quieter. Then I think what I'll do, obviously I'm going to be doing a lot of touring and what have you with it. So I'll keep an update if it does go rattly. And if it did get like it was before I stripped it down, I'll strip it down to have a look. And I won't expect to see this again, which I'll be most disappointed if I do, but I'm not expecting it. I should have written down what Hitchcock says they do to these. It's quite an extensive process of the hardening and the pinged with something or other. But anyway, God, they're beautiful, these are, aren't they? Right, well, I'll switch the camera on and I'll see you later. Hi. Right, as you can see, head's back on, bike's built up enough for me to run it anyway. Got the sump guard to put on and got a few other little jobs I'm doing on it. But the engine's all back together. So I did say, when I got it back together, I'd fire it up and we'll have a listen. So let's do that, eh? Well, what you can't hear is all the rattling. Gone, quiet. In actual fact. Yeah, beautiful. Now, all the people that say Himalayas and Royal Enfields, they all rattle. No, they don't. This one don't. I fixed the oil pump drive chain in here, shimmed that out, stopped that rattling there. I've replaced the valves. I did see the valves was worn on the exhaust. These have got the Hitchcock valves in. I've blacked them into the head, ground them in. Set it up. I've actually left the tappets, they're set it slightly bigger than I want to, but it's not rattling anyway. So I'm going to run a couple of 100 kilometres, let everything bed in, then I'll take the tank off, cut the tappet covers off, recheck the tappets and set them to what I want. But no, I don't know what you think, but to me, I'm chuffed as anything about this. You know, this can make a lovely bike out of it. Let me see if I can just hang something over the exhaust. There you go. There. Sounds sweet as a nut, that does. Beautiful. So, to me, this is how the Enfield should run. Just needs setting up properly with decent parts in it. Have a mint bike. Now, I'm hoping, well, I'm fairly confident, I shouldn't have any more valve trouble. I hope not. See how we get on. But, as I said, it's not rattling. So, all the bullshit about all Enfields rattle, it's not right. Just what's sorting out properly, that's all. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not going to say everybody should be doing this, but if you liked it, you want to see more videos, subscribe, click like, leave any comments below and I will read them. Any questions or anything you want to know about this, I'll let you as much information as you want. So hope to see you in the next video and